Just look at me. I received the script, which was writing by Nick, who did his own adaptation of his book, and I just read the script, and I fell in love with so many things about it, and then I started to adapt a little bit more the script because I wanted to do something more close to the character, a little bit more intimate, and then quickly I had the best cast ever, and then they inspired me so many things also, and we worked together a lot on set, changing things and just like feeling maybe sometimes we didn't need to do or tell so many things sometimes. So the three of us were just like going on set saying like, what about just cutting all this and just like resume that scene with maybe one words or one action, and that was so great because you don't always doing that, like working with your actors, and just like what I love the most as a director, it's when I feel that we can try something with the actors because it's the mood of the day, even if you don't have a lot of time, but like we added so many little scenes. I'm thinking about like the bath and also like when you're crying in the room, and like you just go on set and you're just like, I had a flash last night and I would love to try that. And then it's also like, do we want to try that? And it's the best way to work because yes, there is a script, but then there is actors. There is like people who's gonna be the soul of the movie, and then you have your vision, but then also like you're a human being. So every day it's kind of different, and every day you just needs to be like inspired. Otherwise you don't make a movie, you make something else. But if you want to make a movie and if you just want to tell a story, I guess you need to follow the instinct and follow them. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm an actor by myself, but I just like, I'm listening to what they want a lot because they are the movie at the end.
I read the script. Yeah, I read the script. I mean, that's the story that, you know, I was given, and Melanie was already attached to it. So that was really drew me. And yeah, just the story of these two characters and their friendship. It's one that you don't see on screen very often, of this love story that's not a romantic love, but it also looks very beautiful and does look very romantic. And just all the layers to that, and how also the location is so authentic, of being specifically in Galveston in the South, and but seeing the South and that very American, you know, it's a very American movie, but through the eyes of French, you know, someone who's from France, who I think it's from a different perspective because she sees it in a different way. So that is like, oh, because we've seen this movie, you know, on the run, but this one is different, you know. We shot in Savannah. Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Galveston is a weird place.
Yeah.
Well, we went there first when we started to scout, but they rebuilt obviously kind of everything, and Savannah was like the good mix between some of the scenes who's taking place in New Orleans and also Galveston. So yeah, Savannah was the best, and that was nice to be there.
I try to pick obviously characters that are very different from, you know, the last character that I did, or also different from myself, and try to challenge myself as much as possible. Like, I really like to be scared of the part. So it's like, if I'm reading, I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know if I can do that, and I'm kind of terrified of this, then that normally means that it's a yes. But also a lot of people that are, you know, everyone who's involved in it, it's very important. Like this Melanie was already involved, and yeah, the story. I mean, the story is most important because you can have an amazing character, but if the story doesn't really support that cool character, then it's not going to really work. So it really you have to look at everything, which is kind of hard to make that decision, but I guess it's just a gut reaction. It's so instinctual, just like acting is most of the time.
The people and the time. Certain circumstances in your life demand certain things, and that's the reality. So sometimes you need to make sure that you got rent covered for a year, and then other times you need to make sure that your heart is taken care of, and And then you get asked those wonderful questions, which is, should I? And that gets down to who's a part of it and what questions we're going to be able to ask together along the way. And in these brief moments, when you decide to do something, you have a meeting or a Skype or a phone call, and you try to get a sense of how they like to ask questions. And if there's something shared, then you kind of step off and you say, okay, we'll take 6 weeks together and pursue this line of thinking. And that's a really blessed place to be in.
I was terrified, and then the language was like a mess sometimes. I remember like the last 2 weeks, I think I just couldn't direct you guys at all anymore. I was so tired. I was like, and and it worked. I don't know how, but it
Well,
worked.
that's what you want to get to. You want to like less talk, more instinct, more like, oh yeah, I know what she means. Totally, we got this. Let's go. Yeah, that's great.
But that was so intense. Like, and also like this is such a different way to work in America. Like French people work like 8 hours a day. That's the maximum. Here it's like 12, sometimes 14. It's just like crazy. It's like having 2 days in one. So, and there is so many different rules, and it's very different. But the experience was amazing. So I was so glad to be able to, and the lights, and the locations, and the way American people works. It's crazy.
How's that?
Like they work a lot. Like it's the best. Like it's just like I remember with Ben, we had a dinner a day before, the day before, and we went through the script, and we talked about everything, and I told you like everything I wanted, and we just like argued, and then I kind of didn't need to direct him anymore, because kind of like he knew exactly what I wanted, and then we just like that was so easy and simple. And with Elle, we had a kind of different way to work. Like sometimes we just needed to talk, needed to just like, you know, being more like in the instinct and in the feelings. But that was amazing, really.